And of course, now let's focus on our interview this afternoon. It is all about the Nyanza International Investment Conference that is coming up in the next few days or so. Of course, it will be held in Kisumu City itself, the lakeside city there. And we do have a representative who are ensuring that that conference goes on smoothly. We do have Kennedy Mohonchi, who is the vice chair of that particular conference that is coming up once again. Let me inform you, on February the 6th to the 8th, 2025, it will be held in Kisumu City, where it aims to tap into the expertise and networks of professionals and businesses in Nyanza with a goal of unlocking investment opportunities and driving sustainable development within the region. Kennedy, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe my first question, what will be the objective of this conference that will be happening next month?
The main objectives is we are looking to showcase the region, put together both investors and opportunities. As you know very well, Nyanza is a large basket, is a large area, and we're looking forward to attract investments into the 6 or 7 counties that make up Nyanza.
Yes. Maybe what are some of the strategic partners you have invited to that conference that of course will complement the objective you're talking about?
Okay, so we're looking at having about 8 outcomes from this conference. And part of these outcomes are we want to have a situation where we have bankable deals being signed. And this is in about 5 or 6 verticals that are part of the conference. So as you may know, in Nyanza there's a big blue economy. So we have that. We are running with that as a vertical. We have tourism as another area. So we're looking at a situation where we are going to attract players into the area, provide an opportunity to showcase opportunities, and hopefully end up with bankable investments at the tail end of it.
Okay, given that you're talking about blue economy, we know it's a lake, a lake region.
Yeah.
So what more or what other opportunities maybe have you identified so that those investors, when they come in, they will be putting their money in there? Because we have seen a lot of developments around the lake region. What are the certain key areas you have missed out maybe you want to incorporate it now into the conference so that it can be tapped into?
Okay, one of the major attractiveness of that area is of course the fact that you are part of a region. We're part of the lake block. So we have quite a huge market. And on top of that, we have a situation where now we have tangible investments that you can drive into the area for blue economy, into fishing, for example. We are looking at fish processing, among other things, that will be some of the areas where investors can come into research and actually put in things that will have significant multiply effects into the region.
And of course, we know with such kind of conferences coming here, especially in the country, investors need to be assured that if they come into the country, the environment is good, so that they can, at the end of the day, employ more people in the country and solve the unemployment issue. But the other thorny issue in this particular hopefully it will be discussed within the conference itself, is trade. We have heard the president talking about how sometimes in other countries when we trade with them it's a little bit unfair. So with this type of conference, are we likely to see those are some of the issues that can be conversed?
Okay, well, by trade you're meaning addressing issues of trade imbalances?
Yes, trade imbalances, yes.
Yeah, of course, one of the things that we all know is that Nyanza as a region is not a main producing region.
Yes.
So part of what we want to address is to have a situation where we bring in factories that will tap into the 26 cash crops that are in Nyanza. So we want a situation where we are producing many of the things that are consumed within Nyanza. Today we are even importing milk, something that is as basic as that. The area is very well endowed. If you look at places like KBC, and they have opportunities to do improvements in things like banana, to get into other value additions. And these are some of the targeted investments that we are looking to channel into the area. Yeah.
And what are some of the stakeholders, given that you've largely talked about especially agriculture? I would like to see stakeholders from farms as well as factories to come to that particular event so that also they can get an opportunity to interact with the investors one-on-one.
One of the things that we want to assure the participants that will come into the conference is they will be able to showcase some of the innovations. We'll be having local made solutions being showcased and being brought to the forth, because we want to attract international investors. The international investors that are coming into this conference, and these are people who are interested in all the verticals, like I mentioned earlier: tourism, agriculture, the blue economy, and and what we want to happen here is to have a situation where we bridge that gap that has always been there, because we have tremendous opportunities on the ground, but there's a gap. And that gap is what we want to close with this conference.
And of course, given that you just say you need to come out with 8 outcomes from that particular conference, which are bankable at the end of the day. So what are some of the challenges also the conference will be addressing, maybe that has been seen? What are these missing gaps to ensure that we get the maximum benefit out of such conference that also will attract internationals who will be coming into the country?
Okay, one of the things that we want to address, of course, you are familiar with the fact that a lot of these conferences have become talk shops.
Yes.
This conference is going to be different, because this conference is going to be a conference that will have continuity. This will be just the first among many. We will be having a secretariat that will follow up a lot of these deals that are to come here. This conference is being run by professionals from the region. And one of the things we are looking at doing is to have these professionals step and contribute back into making this investments are reality, because a lot of us have a lot of technical expertise. We have a huge diaspora component that is coming into this thing, and we are tapping into that. Those are some of the missing links that have been there. Today you've had situations where you have investors who want to come to Kenya, but they lack the local knowledge.
Yes.
So we are looking forward to having a situation even the local investors can even partner with the overseas investors and bridge that gap of that local knowledge, because that local knowledge is very, very, very important. We've seen it's actually the main reason why a lot of good ideas die on the table. Yeah.
It's very important. You've just said clearly most of conferences, especially which we have witnessed for the last few years, have been a talk shop. So in terms of ensuring, you've just said it will not be a first among many, but ensuring that the plan that will come out of that particular conference is being implemented in that lakeside region. Are you going to set up a committee that will ensure that the continuity is there at the end of the day, or will you just leave it at that?
We're looking at the present committee continuing the work. That is, it's a volunteer committee.
Okay.
So we're looking at that, and one of the things that I must mention is that we have gotten some tremendous political support.
Okay.
The governors are on board, which is a beautiful thing. And one of the other things that we're doing different is that this time we're having a regional focus. So this is a little different from each county doing their thing, where they've been doing their own investment conferences. This time we're looking to plug into what the counties are doing and also present a regional focus to things. So the present committee will continue the work that is there. We are plugging into the Lake Region Economic Block. They also have a secretariat.
14 counties, yes.
And we are looking to also work very closely with that secretariat in making sure that there is fruition at the end of the day. Because it is one thing to talk, and another thing to actually create the jobs.
Yes.
What we want to do is to actually create the markets, create the jobs, and create investments that will radically change the fortunes of our people in the Nyanza.
And of course, you just touched on LOREB, that is the governors from the Lakeside Region Bloc, the alliance of 14 counties, of course, in the regional economic growth itself. Of course, the event also will attract international partners. Let's go back there. We've witnessed even changes in the United States. We're even discussing it off air. Are we likely to see ambassadors coming on board? Especially, it is very critical at this point where the United States do not have a representative here. There is someone who is in an acting capacity. So we're likely to see the embassy of the United States to come in and expound once more what you'll be achieving in that particular conference?
One of the things that we have done is to engage a lot of our bilateral partners. We've had a meeting with the 24 ambassadors of the European Union. We've personally written to all the embassies. They are invited. They are very, very significant partners. And already these embassies are doing some substantial work on the ground, including the US Embassy. Yes. So yes, we are in touch with them. We have invited them, and we are looking to have a situation where we forge a platform that will allow collaboration going forward. Yes.
And in terms of the goodies, because at the end of the day, people of Nyanza will be expecting what goodies will be coming out of that particular conference. Yes. So what should farmers, as well as people who will be touched, professionals or even non-professionals from that particular region, how will they benefit from that conference?
I'll just give a simple example. Today, if you are able to locate a factory, one major factory in any of the towns in Nyanza, you'll be looking at creating about 2,000 jobs. That can power a whole micro city. So we're looking at having a situation where we champion development in that particular fashion. Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, this is a forum where the private professionals have come
Yes.
together, because we have recognized that we cannot leave development to the government itself. We have to partner, we have to support the government, we have to support our political leaders, we have to come together and change the fortunes of our people.
Because you see, the reason why you're clearly stating that is that for the last few years, we've witnessed people having that misconceptions of PPPs,
Yes.
Private-public partnerships, with especially institutions of the government. So in terms of even educating and creating that civic awareness between the professionals as well as the government operatives. So how crucial will it be in that particular conference? And at the end of the day, goodies in terms of PPPs as well as government institutions coming to work together, which in the past was not the case.
Was not the case, yes. One of the things that I want to mention here is that one of the things that we've done is to tap into the associations, the professional associations. We have had some very, very good discussions with the Law Society of Kenya. For example, the chair is from that region.
Okay.
And one of the things that, and within even the secretariat itself, we have a whole legislative arm, a legal advisory arm, that we are hoping it will be part of what I said earlier, where we want our professionals to offer expertise. And part of this expertise would be to come up with those PPPs that are alive to the situations on the ground. Yeah, so we want to have a situation where we offer tailor-made solutions to whoever the investors that come into this platform. Yeah.
And of course, in terms of, given that we'll have internationals in that particular conference finally, as we're coming an end to this particular conversation, are we likely to see trade deals being made in that conference at the end of the conference itself?
One thing I can assure you is that we'll have a lot of announcements offered at the government level. So the president, we're expecting the president and the team of his ministers to come and give a lot of goodies. We have about 10 cabinet secretaries coming to speak into the conference, 600 delegates. And of course, they're coming in to drive innovation and to tell us what they will do for the region. So short answer to your question is that yes, we expect tangible agreements to be announced. Yeah.
And give us your final remarks in regards to the conference itself. And as a committee, have you even considered which region next? I know it's...
I know that's really jumping the gun. We are right now focusing on this one and focusing especially to make sure we have tangible deliverables coming out of it. I've told you we're looking at eight major outcomes. And hopefully this will not be the last, so this will be the first among many. And we will look at a situation where perhaps we do a rotation within our counties.
Also, I forgot to mention that you got support from the Kenya National NAT itself, the Teachers Union.
Yes, the Teachers Union, yeah.
So
among other associations. So all of these associations, we've sat down with them, they have endorsed the conference. A lot of their leaderships are coming, the Architectural Association, the lawyers, the teachers, which you've basically mentioned. This morning we met with all the vice chancellors in the region, because universities are actually, they spearhead a lot of the innovations. And we are very, very cognizant of the need to make sure we provide a forum for innovations to be spinned off into the private sector. So that was part of what we're discussing with the vice chancellors, to see how can they take advantage of this forum to showcase some of this beautiful work that they're doing.
So they'll have the opportunity to show off their work.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
We'll have a youth pavilion, we'll have a women pavilion. The universities, we have an education pavilion, so they will come and exhibit and showcase what they're doing.
Thank you so much. That is Kennedy Mohoji. He's the Vice Chair of the National International Investment Conference that is set to take place from the 6th to the 8th of February 2025 in Kisumu City. And of course, the Lakeside City will seem on the February. It will be all roads leading into that particular region. You've just heard it from Kennedy here. We'll have Cabinet Secretaries, the President, first of all, who will be opening up that particular international conference. Then from Cabinet Secretaries to their numbers, that is 10. Over 600 delegates will be flocking there as well. Of course, they clearly stated that they require 8 outcomes which are bankable at the end of the day. Of course, it is an investment conference that will be covering in the coming month.